Well, moving on now to Iran, where they've got a new president there, Hassan Rouhani, who is offering a new approach to politics as usual. He's making some fresh promises about reviving the nuclear talks with the West.
Right. President Rouhani says Iran is ready for serious negotiations on its nuclear program. And this, of course, Phil, sets a much softer tone than we saw with his predecessor, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad.
Setareh Derakhshesh is the deputy director of the Persian news network here at the Voice of America. And I talked with her about Rouhani's presidency, and we talked about what his presidency might mean for U.S.-Iran relations. Let's take a look.
Well, let's talk about the tactics. We know that as far as Iran principles and strategic principles, that's not going to change. Mr. Rouhani is as establishment as you can get. But as far as tactics, from what we see from the very first press conference that he is focusing on engagement. He's focusing on resolving these matters through negotiations. So we know that he's serious. But also, let's not forget that in the last 15 years, Iran has pursued many different negotiating tactics, from enriching uranium to 20%, to off and on with suspending uranium, to a full opposition to stopping uranium enrichment. So the approach is going to change, the tactics might change, but the principle remains the same. Iran would like to reserve the right of nuclear enrichment.
Iran has really taken a big hit with the sanctions. But is it fair to say that he's an insider and that he could move things forward as opposed to where they're continuing to drag on and on?
Well, it depends on many factors. One of them, how much maneuver room the Grand Ayatollah, Ayatollah Khamenei, is going to leave for him. How is he going to deal with, there are no political parties in Iran, but at least there are factions. The faction that lost the elections, and that's the powerful and influential IRGC. The Revolutionary Guards, they control pretty much every sector of the Iranian industries and oil and gas and so forth. How is he going to deal with them? Whether he's going to make concessions. We have seen that he's made some concessions in the parliament by picking some of the cabinet members who are part or members of the IRGC. So there are different factors. We'll see how he's going to maneuver, whether he's going to be able to do it or not. Again, it depends on the Grand Ayatollah. But there are other factors outside also that would influence his actions.
And how much of an influence is Israel having on what is going on with Iran and their nuclear program? Because they have threatened to strike at some point, and of course Iran maintains that it's for peaceful purposes, and of course the U.S. wants to work something out along with the P5 nations.
Well, President Obama is also under pressure from Congress in this country. It's not only from Israel, because we know that there are members of Congress who would like to increase sanctions, and there is actually legislation that's going to go through, and in September there's going to be more debate on that will stop the oil imports from Iran in 2014, which is going to be extremely biting for Iran's oil revenue that is their bloodline. Israel is a very, very close ally of the United States. We have the country has this President Obama's support. Again, it depends on so many different factors. It depends on the Israeli-Palestinian peace. It depends on how Iran is going to operate its members of the Hezbollah in Lebanon. But the principle is going to remain the same. Again, the approach is different. The President Obama has talked to the Israelis to sort of calm them down a little bit, and this is the room that Netanyahu gave also to President Obama not to increase this rhetoric of war. It remains to be seen.